17 minutes after the top of the hour, this question for you. Has the Obama administration effectively declared war on the CIA and in turn put our nation's security at risk?
Yeah, we're paying the price. Ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee, Congressman Peter King, joins us. Congressman, how shocked are you that we have an investigation and possible prosecution into the interrogations that happened in 2002 to 2004?
Brian, this is an absolute disgrace. I can't believe it. If anyone had told us on September 12th that we were going to be investigating the CIA because they were interrogating terrorists and threatening them, not even using any harm against them, threatening.
High value, too.
Yes, high value. Oh, yeah, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, he was the architect of September 11th. And the terrible crime here is that they threatened to shoot him, knowing all along they wouldn't shoot him, never intended to hurt him, just wanted to scare the guy to get information which ended up saving countless American lives. This is absolute insanity. And I've said that I believe the Attorney General and the Obama administration have declared war on the CIA, and this is dramatically weakening our defenses.
Well, you could throw in the Speaker of the House in that as well, because she called them liars. But let me ask you this very important question. President Obama has been out front and center on this issue, saying that he wants to look to the future and not to the past. And then we see his own Attorney General decide to actually open an investigation. Is President Obama on board with this or not?
Two things. Either President Obama is misleading the American people, and he does want to look backward, or he's lost control of his administration. I have a feeling what he's doing here, he's trying to appease the left-wing base. On the one hand, he's telling the CIA, I'm with you. On the other hand, he wants to appease the left-wing base of his party.
Why appease him? They're still with him. You look at every single poll, no matter what he does, even when he throws out the public option on health care, the left, far-leaning, still with him.
Yeah, I don't want to get into his mind, but I think somehow he feels he's going to lose them and he wants to keep them on board. But again, in any event, it's wrong. It's the wrong thing to do.
Here's what changes. Like it or not, probe forward, prosecution, whatever. We now know the CIA can't question bin Laden when we get him. The next Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. It's now going to go through a new special unit. They've confirmed this, the creation of an elite team of interrogators yet to be named. We don't know where they're going to be, but we know if you have bin Laden, you got to wait for this super friends to get together to question them.
Yeah, it's going to be spread out over different agencies. There's no person even appointed to be in charge of it. They don't know where it's going to be located. This is going to be absolute chaos. It's tough enough carrying out interrogations without trying to decide who's in charge, who's going to do it. And also, if anything, it looks like ultimately it's going to be the White House. Can you imagine if George Bush had ever said he was going to be in charge of interrogations?
Well, maybe they'll just kill bin Laden when they see him, so we won't have to go through that. Let me get your quick thoughts on Gaddafi, because the leader of Libya, dictator, apparently coming to the U.S. for the very first time to the United Nations in September, and he may be staying right across the river in New Jersey. Your thoughts?
Absolute disgrace. I agree with the Jersey officials who want him out of there. This whole deal with the British stinks. Obviously, to me, they're looking for oil. And as a result of that, to allow such a known terrorist, a convicted terrorist, out of jail is absolutely shameful.
We should explain the deal, that there's allegations that Prime Minister Gordon Brown in Britain, hooked up with Gaddafi and released that Lockerbie guy who was convicted of killing 270 Americans, and you say it could be for oil.
Yeah, and this is a metaphor for, I think, Western nations losing their will in the war against terrorism. Whether it's our own government, the British government, we don't have the same intensity we had back on September 11th.
And you know why? Because it's not terrorism. It's overseas contingency operation. You got to remember that, Congressman.
You're right. You're right, Brian. I'm right.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to